I bring to you the tale of Amina Williams. Now let's quickly dive into the story. Amina Williams was the epitome of beauty, grace, and wisdom. Her husband, Mr. Williams, a successful business tycoon, had built an empire, and together they lived a life most couples could only dream of. Their business prospered, their mansion in the heart of the city gleamed with luxury. Their love was something many admired, and their love was something many admired. Their two children, Cosgrave and his sister Amara, were their pride and joy. Life was perfect, or so it seems. Also, it seems. One cold evening, a tragedy struck Mr. and Mrs. Williams back from London, there where they attended a colleague's wedding. The plane went down and there was no survivors. The world, the world of God's gifts and Amara was shattered in the blink of an eye. They lost both parents, the mansion, their sole remaining piece of inheritance was now only a refuge. 6 months had passed since the accident. God's gift had completed his secondary school education. God's gift has completed his secondary school education while Amara was still struggling to finish her final year in SS3. Life had become a daily struggle. Their uncle, Mr. Williams, okay, my people, we are going to continue the story. In this live stream, we'll be looking at the tale of Amina. And hi to everyone. Amina Williams was the epitome of beauty, grace, and wisdom. Her husband, Mr. Williams, a successful business tycoon, had built an empire, and together they lived a life most couples only dreamt of. And together they lived a life most couples dreamt of. And together they lived a life most couples dreamt of. Sorry for the glitches. The issue is that I'm having glitches and distraction here and there. But let's quickly start the story once again. Amina Williams was the epitome of beauty, grace, and wisdom. Her husband, Mr. Williams, a successful business tycoon, had built an empire, and together they lived a life most couple only dreamed of. Their business prospered, their mansion in the heart of the city glowed with luxury, and their love was something many admired of. Their two children, God's gift and his younger sister Amara, were their pride and joy. Life was perfect, or so it seems. One cold evening, a tragedy struck Mr. and Mrs. Williams were on a flight back from London when they had attended a colleague's wedding. The plane went down and there was no survivor. The world of God's gift and Amara was shattered in a blink of an eye. They lost both parents. The mansion, their sole remaining piece of inheritance, was now their only refuge. 6 months had passed since the accident. God's gift had completed his secondary school education while Amara was still struggling to finish her final year in SS3. Life had become a daily struggle. Their uncle, Mr. Williams' brothers, had whooped in and inherited everything: the businesses, the wealth, and the assets, leaving the children with nothing but memories. Not a dime, not a cent was left to them. Gosgrave spent his days searching for work. He did everything he could, from manual labor to tutoring younger kids in the neighborhood, but despite his efforts, every job seemed just out of reach. He didn't give up, though he could not when Amara was relying on him. One evening, after a long day of searching for a job that would not come, Cosgrave sat on the steps of their mansion, staring at the stars. His heart was heavy with worry of his sister. Amara had done her best to focus on her studies, but it was clear that they were both sinking deeper in despair. God, I don't know how much longer we can do this, he whispered to himself. Suddenly he heard a familiar voice. God's gift. The voice was unmistakable. He turned and saw his old classmate Ayomide walking toward him with a smile on his face. Ayomide had been sent to Europe for his university education. After secondary school, he was the son of a wealthy businessman, and they haven't seen each other since their final exams. Ayo Kosgei stood up, surprised but grateful for the company. What are you doing here? I haven't seen you for a long time. I have been studying in Europe, Ayo said. This while Ayo said this while White said his smile. White just go back just got back from the holidays, and I could not help but notice that something different. What happened to you, bro? Cosgrave sighed, his shoulders slumping. Everything. My parents died in a plane crash. My uncle took everything. We don't even have enough to eat. We don't even have enough to eat. His voice cracked, but he fought to keep his composure. I've been looking for work, but hello, welcome to my live stream. To keep his composure, I have been looking for work, but nothing, just nothing. We are exploring the story of Amina and Williams, If you are just joining my live stream, you are welcome. Please, I hope you enjoy this live stream. Ayomide's face softened with sympathy. He stepped closer. Please, we are lo- we are exploring the story of Amina and Mr. Williams. If you are just joining my live stream, you are highly welcome. Now let's continue the story. Ayomide's face softened with sympathy. He stepped closer and placed a hand on God's gift's shoulder. I had no idea. I'm really sorry, Ayomide said quietly, but listen, I might be able to help. My dad runs a big company and he's been looking for a fresh face to join the team. He always believed in giving people a chance. If you are willing to work hard, I can get you an interview. God's gift stared at him, disbelief washing over him. Wait, you mean you are going to, you are not playing with me, right? You mean you are not playing with me, right? Ayomide nodded, his eyes sincere. I'm serious. You have always been a smart guy. If you take this chance, it could change everything for you. And once you get on your feet, maybe you could finish your education for both you and Amara. God's gift was overwhelmed. He had never expected anything like this. It felt like a miracle, but he knew deep down that this was the chance he had been praying for. Thank God, God's gift said, his voice full of emotion. I will do whatever it takes. I won't disappoint you. Months later, God's gift began working at Ayomide's father's company. The work was challenging, but it paid. The work was challenging, but it paid off. The work was challenging, but it paid. The work was challenging, but it paid off. He never took it for granted. He put in long hours. He put in. Okay, my people, thanks for watching. Bye.